I'm Ezelle from the upcoming. Hi, lovely to meet you.
Hey, how are you? Nice to meet
Congratulations.
you. Thank you.
You too. Congratulations. I loved it. Really tense the whole way through. So perhaps you could start by giving us a little information on what the film is about and your character Ben that you play in it as well.
For sure. The film is about a family that takes a vacation in Italy and they meet another family there and their kids are the same age. They have a great week vacation together and upon arriving back in London after time and, get back to the mediocrity of their lives, they get an invite to go visit them in the English countryside. What turns out to be a beautiful, sunny, fun-filled, lavish vacation turns into an absolute horrific nightmare for a family vacation. And that's sort of like the spin in which, the tangle of which the film really goes off the rails.
And your character Ben, can you tell us a little bit about that?
For sure. Ben is somebody who's been working in the financial sector. He has been transferred to the UK. When we pick up with him, he's having complications in his marriage. He's lost his job and he's feeling in a very vulnerable, sort of weak place. He finds comfort in this character, Patty, played by James McAvoy, of a boisterous, outgoing, outlandish, flies by the seat of his pants type character. And Ben finds this sort of love in him of if I could be more like this character, Patty, then all of his problems could be fixed. And in the film, we sort of watch that unravel and sort of go through the ups and downs of that sort of relationship.
And what was that like to play against McAvoy in that? Because as it kind of goes on, the tension, the agitation. I mean, it must have been quite full on to film that. I don't know how long it took, but what was that relationship like to build on screen?
Well, I first have to clarify, there's no tension at all around James McAvoy. He's a very fun, funny, charismatic guy. So it was more of us trying to more get serious. But it was great. I looked at this character as a character that's trying to be like another character in the story. And this was something that I hadn't really played into of, he's following him, watching him, trying to be like him and sort of like just leaning into who this guy is, only to find out the more and more that he feels that he wants to be like him, the more and more he's learning that the guy he wants to be like isn't really that guy himself either. So yeah, it was a really fun character to play and something in a dynamic that I hadn't explored yet before as an actor.
And I think it's such an intense psychological thriller. I mean, were there any kind of scenes that you did that really stood out for you that you just thought, God, challenging or good?
Question. I did enjoy when James McAvoy is feeding McKenzie Davis the meat in the scene. In the film, it's this sort of uncomfortable moment that's very subtle, but the shooting of it, James really took it to the absurd sometimes to sort of play with it to find out what he wanted to do. And I feel that one really stands out to me a lot because we had a lot of fun watching James have a lot of fun, and so that was something that stood out to me. And I think we had a good laugh at work that day.
Well, obviously, what was it like working with McKenzie, who played your wife, and Alex, who played your daughter? What was that creating that kind of family dynamic between you like?
Oh, it was great. I had worked with McKenzie Davis on a TV show for 4 seasons, and so it's always awesome to run into somebody or work with somebody that you already know, that you're familiar with, and that you already have chemistry with. So when she came in, I mean, we just hit it right off. And Alex, the girl who played our daughter, is by far not a newcomer at all. She's done quite a few projects, but to see kids come in with talent and professionalism and ideas, I can't imagine making this movie with anybody other than Alex and Dan. So with regards to the kids, we were so lucky to get those kids, and they just did an exceptional job.
And what do you hope that viewers will take away from watching this? Because I was literally boiling at the end of it and shaking. It's so good. It's kind of got so many twists and turns. So
That's what I hope people take from it, that they're boiling and shaking afterwards. And in the midst of their conversations afterwards, just sort of play with this idea or of the theme of the film is like, how far will we go in our uncomfortability and sit in our uncomfortability until we say something, or put up a boundary or whatnot. And I think that the film plays on those themes and makes you really question that stuff a lot.
thank you so much for speaking to me. I loved it, and I hope everyone does as much as me. Thank you very much for your time. Thank
Hey,
you.
thank you.